As I've stated in previous reviews, I don't particularly like hidden picture games. I've reviewed 2 hidden picture games before, Mortimer Beckett and Ultimate I Spy. The main reason I don't like these type of games is they frustrate me. The things that you're looking for are usually too small to see, or they're too well hidden, and it's easy to lose the game and you'll have to start all over from the beginning. At least with Mortimer Beckett, you can see the picture of the object that you're looking for. And in Ultimate I Spy, the world could be rotated so you can get a better angle to find the objects. You don't get either of these luxuries in this game though. In fact, if you think of Ultimate I Spy as a beginner's game, and Mortimer Beckett as a more of an intermediate game, then you'll look at this game as the 7th sign to the apocalypse. Cause this game is hard. Now don't get me wrong, I got pretty far in the game, but that was only due to luck and having to replay entire levels again. If you're one of those people who really enjoy these type of games, you might find some fun in this game, cause this game is gonna challenge you. There's an overarching storyline that plays out over the 15 chapters in this game. Now each of these chapters have 5 parts in them. That means there are over 75 levels in this game if you also count the tutorial. They reuse locations throughout these 75 levels, but it's okay as the objects that you're looking for change. The story is about Cate West, who assists the police by using her psychic powers to look at a crime scene and take the evidence from the scene to find the criminal. That's right, she takes the evidence from the scene, and later on you have to put it back exactly where you found it. So you might be asking, what police department lets a civilian just take evidence and then just let her put it back when she's done? Apparently this one, since they let her do it 15 times. The whole plot is ridiculously thin and really is only there to separate the sections in between when you're searching for objects. The game is played out like this. You find or put back a certain number of objects in the picture. You watch a cutscene, then rinse and repeat. The way you search for objects change, but the basic concept is always the same. It's helpful that you can zoom in on the picture anytime you want with a magnifying glass. You'll tend to stay in a magnified state a lot, while you systematically search every nook and cranny of the picture. The chapter first starts out like a normal hidden picture game. They give you a number of objects you have to find in a time limit, and a few locations to find them in. Then after you find the objects, you find out that only a couple of them are actually useful. Once you figure out what those items are, with your psychic ability, why she couldn't use her psychic ability before she collected a bunch of other objects is beyond me. But once you do get those 2 objects, you'll have to piece them back together. That's right, you have to put them back together again. Now you might be asking, why if you just picked them up and they're actually in your possession, why do you need to reassemble them? I have no idea. Let's just assume that Cate is a klutz and keeps breaking the evidence. And that's just another reason I can't believe the police would let her anywhere near a crime scene. She keeps destroying the evidence. After you find some super glue to put on the evidence that you just broke, you put it back together, which by the way is the most boring part of this entire game. Finding the little pieces of evidence is not fun to do. It's frustrating since it's even more obscure to find than the normal objects. Then since apparently the police can't do anything without you, they ask you to take a look at 2 pictures of the criminal's hideout and find out the differences between the 2 photos. Why does it even matter? Who cares if they changed their hideout during the time the 2 photos were taken? What does that have to do with the crime? Now the only real change in the action is when you have to figure out who the culprit of the crime is. You have to put together all the clues that you've collected, and then you use that to narrow down your list in a guess who kind of way until you figure out who it is. Then here comes the most insane part of this whole game. All of that evidence that you've taken from the scene has to be put back. You have to put the evidence back so they can convict the criminal. What does that mean? You have to put everything back you took from the crime scene, exactly where you found it. Why even bother taking it if you have to put it back later? Now I'm no legal scholar, but I'm pretty sure that's really illegal. I think it's called planting evidence. As long as Cate doesn't mind doing that, why not just have her plant something really incriminating, like a confession note? Yeah, Your Honor, I found this note here. It says the defendant did it. What? No. It was here the whole time. Trust me. Chapters normally last about an hour, depending on how quickly you can find the objects. It helps that they give you the option to give you a hint, and there's no set limit to them, only a time delay. However, each time that you use a hint, your score will go down. And you'll want a good score if you want a good ending. The hints are helpful, but as the name says, they're just hints, or more clearly vague, pointing in the right direction. They circle an area where you should check, but there were often times where I still couldn't find what they were trying to show me. If you try to overclick the screen, they'll start penalizing you seconds off your countdown timer, so you'll have to be careful. They do give you a few clicks before they penalize you, so at least that's okay. As an added bonus, you can play the story mode with another player, or you can replay one of your favorite stages with just you or a friend. Kate West and the Vanishing Files is one of the most frustrating hidden picture games I have ever played. The concept is good, but the boring execution is what I didn't like. However, with that said, the game is long and has 3 endings. So if you love a challenge and you're really good at these hidden picture games, this game will not disappoint you. If you like these type of games, I do think you should rent it first. And if you do end up enjoying it, at the reasonable price of just $30, it is worth a buy.